In the quiet corners of our bustling lives, there exists a deep and often unspoken yearning for peace. We seek a refuge, a simple place where the noise of the world fades away, leaving behind only the gentle rhythm of the present moment. This space does not need to be a distant land or an elaborate retreat. It can be found in the simple observation of nature, in the quiet contemplation of beauty. We invite you now to step into such a sanctuary, a place crafted with care to soothe the mind and calm the spirit. It is an invitation to pause, to breathe, and to simply be. The world outside will continue its hurried pace, but here in this moment you are given permission to rest. This journey into tranquility begins with an open heart and a willing mind. There is nothing you need to achieve, no goal you must strive for. The only requirement is your presence. Allow your attention to settle, releasing the endless lists of tasks and worries that so often occupy your thoughts. Think of this as a gentle homecoming, a return to the quiet center that resides within you. The world has demanded much of your energy and focus, but this time is reserved for you alone. It is a moment to replenish your inner resources, to find a sense of balance and harmony that may have been lost amidst the demands of daily life. The path to stillness is not a difficult one. It is simply a matter of allowing yourself to arrive. Consider this introduction a soft threshold, a doorway into a different kind of awareness. As you step through, you leave behind the complexities and pressures that define so much of your day. Here, simplicity reigns. The elements are pure and fundamental: water, stone, sand, and life. Each component has been chosen for its ability to inspire a state of calm reflection. You are encouraged to let your senses guide you, to notice the subtle details without judgment or analysis. This is not a puzzle to be solved, but a landscape to be experienced. Let the gentle atmosphere wash over you like a soft blanket that offers comfort and security. Your journey has already begun with the simple act of showing up. The power of such a space lies in its ability to anchor us firmly in the now. Our minds are often like kites, carried away by the winds of past regrets and future anxieties. This sanctuary acts as a gentle tether, bringing us back to the solid ground of the present. By focusing on the tangible sensory details of the environment, we quiet the internal chatter that can be so draining. Each ripple in the water, each bubble that rises, each slow movement of a living creature becomes a point of focus. This is the essence of mindfulness, a full, non-judgmental engagement with the moment as it unfolds. Welcome to this space of peace. Allow it to hold you, to support you, and to guide you back to yourself. Our modern world is a marvel of connection and information, yet it often leaves our minds feeling scattered and overwhelmed. We are constantly bombarded with notifications, deadlines, and an endless stream of content that demands our attention. This relentless pace can lead to a state of mental fatigue where clarity is lost and stress becomes a constant companion. A sanctuary, therefore, is not a luxury but a necessity for mental well-being. It is a dedicated space where the mind can finally unclench, where the constant need to process and react is suspended. Here, in this visual and auditory haven, you are offered a respite from the mental clutter, a chance to let your thoughts settle like dust in a quiet room. Imagine your mind as a sky that has been clouded over for days. The constant activity and worry are the thick gray clouds that obscure the natural blue expanse. A sanctuary provides the gentle breeze that slowly, patiently pushes those clouds aside. It does not force them away but creates the conditions for them to dissipate on their own. By immersing yourself in a calming environment, you give your mind the permission it needs to stop striving. You can let go of the need to figure everything out and simply observe the serene world before you. This act of passive observation is a powerful form of mental rest, allowing your cognitive resources to recharge and your inner landscape to find its natural equilibrium once more. This digital sanctuary has been intentionally designed to be a refuge for the weary. Every element has been curated to minimize distraction and maximize tranquility. There are no sudden movements, no jarring sounds, no complex narratives to follow. The pace is deliberately slow, mirroring the natural rhythm of a peaceful garden. It is an environment that asks nothing of you, allowing you to be a passive recipient of its calming influence. For a mind tired from constant decision-making and problem-solving, this passivity is a profound relief. It is an opportunity to disengage from the analytical part of your brain and connect with a more intuitive sensory way of being, fostering a deep sense of rest and restoration. As you settle into this space, you may notice the tension in your shoulders begin to release, your breathing may deepen, and the furrow in your brow may soften. This is the physical manifestation of a mind at ease. The creation of a sanctuary is an act of profound self-compassion. It is an acknowledgement that your mental health requires care and attention, just like your physical health. By taking this time for yourself, you are honoring your need for peace and quiet. You are actively choosing to step away from the sources of stress and into a world designed for healing and renewal. Let this place be your haven, a reliable retreat you can return to whenever your mind feels weary. Water is one of nature's most elemental and powerful soothing agents. Its sounds and movements have a primal ability to capture our attention and calm our nervous systems. Consider the gentle whisper of rippling water, a sound that is both subtle and profound. Each ripple is a small unfolding event, a visual and auditory pulse that spreads outward from a point of origin. Watching these patterns expand and fade is a form of natural meditation. It draws the eye and the mind into a state of focused calm, providing a gentle, ever-changing spectacle that is interesting without being demanding. The soft sound complements this visual, creating a multisensory experience of tranquility. The sound of rippling water is a language understood by the deepest parts of our being. It speaks of life, of flow, and of constant, gentle change. Unlike the harsh, abrupt noises of the urban environment, the sound of ripples is soft, continuous, and non-threatening. Our brains interpret these sounds as signals of safety, allowing our bodies to relax and our minds to let down their guard. This is why so many people are drawn to a lakeside, a riverbank, or a quiet fountain. We are instinctively seeking the profound sense of peace that these natural water sounds provide. In this digital Zen garden, the whispers of rippling water are a central element, designed to transport you to that place of primal calm. Observing the ripples can also be a powerful metaphor for our own thoughts and emotions. Just as a single drop creates a widening circle on the water's surface, a single thought can create waves of emotion within our minds. By watching the ripples in the water, we can learn to observe our own mental states with the same detached curiosity. We can see a thought arise, watch it expand, and then see it naturally fade away, just like the ripple. This practice helps to cultivate a sense of non-attachment, reminding us that our thoughts are transient and do not define us. The water becomes a teacher, showing us the nature of our own minds in a gentle and accessible way. The rhythm of the ripples is inherently hypnotic. It is a pattern that is predictable yet infinitely varied, holding our attention without causing strain or boredom. This gentle, rhythmic stimulation can help to synchronize our brainwaves into a slower, more meditative state, such as the alpha state, which is associated with relaxed awareness. As you listen and watch, allow the soft, lapping sounds and the visual dance of light on the water's surface to be your sole focus. Let the whispers of the rippling water wash away the day's stress, carrying your attention into a state of deep and effortless peace. It is a simple, natural lullaby for the soul, always available and always effective. Alongside the gentle ripples, there is another sound that contributes to the deep sense of peace in this garden, the soft murmur of rising bubbles. This is a subtle, intimate sound, one that speaks of life and breath. Each bubble is a tiny sphere of air making its journey to the surface, a small, quiet event that culminates in a soft pop. The sound is delicate and close, creating a sense of intimacy and presence. It is the sound of quiet activity, of life proceeding at its own unhurried pace. Listening to these sounds can be incredibly grounding, pulling your awareness into the immediate microscopic details of the environment and away from larger, more abstract worries. The gentle, percussive sound of bubbles provides a wonderful counterpoint to the smoother, more continuous sound of rippling water. This layering of sound creates a richer, more complex auditory texture that can fully engage the listener's attention. The ASMR community has long recognized the power of these soft, popping sounds to induce feelings of relaxation and pleasant tingling sensations. The sound of bubbles is non-intrusive and repetitive, making it an ideal anchor for a meditative practice. It gives the mind something simple and pleasant to focus on, preventing it from wandering into stressful or anxious thought patterns. It is a sound that is both interesting and profoundly calming. There is a visual beauty to rising bubbles that complements their soothing sound. Each one catches the light as it ascends, a tiny shimmering jewel on a vertical journey. Watching them rise can have a surprisingly uplifting effect on the spirit. It is a visual representation of release, of letting go. Just as the bubble is released from below and travels upward to merge with the air, we can imagine our own worries and tensions being released and floating away. This simple visual metaphor can be a powerful tool for emotional release during meditation. The The steady upward procession of bubbles is a calming and optimistic sight, a reminder of the natural tendency towards freedom and lightness. The combination of watching and listening to the bubbles creates a deeply immersive experience. It encourages a state of soft fascination, where the mind is effortlessly engaged without any need for directed effort. This state is highly restorative, allowing the brain's attention networks to rest and recharge. As you focus on the soft murmur and the gentle ascent of the bubbles, you may find your own breathing begins to slow and deepen, synchronizing with the calm rhythm of the garden. You are invited to lose yourself in this miniature world, to let the simple, beautiful phenomenon of rising bubbles guide you into a state of profound and peaceful contemplation. At the heart of this tranquil water garden are its most vibrant inhabitants, the goldfish. These are not just fish, they are living jewels, animated points of color and grace that bring the entire scene to life. Their bright scales, which range from deep orange to shimmering gold and pure white, provide a stunning visual contrast to the cool tones of the water and stone. The presence of these creatures honestly transforms the garden from a static landscape into a dynamic, living ecosystem. They introduce an element of gentle, unpredictable movement that is endlessly fascinating to watch. The goldfish are the warm, beating heart of this sanctuary, inviting us to connect with the simple beauty of the natural world. The goldfish is a creature that truly embodies serenity. Its movements are typically slow, deliberate, and fluid. There is an unhurried quality to the way a goldfish navigates its world, gliding through the water with an effortless grace that is, well, mesmerizing to observe. They seem to exist in a state of perpetual calm, untroubled by the complexities that plague the human mind. Watching them can have a powerful calming effect on our own nervous systems. Their peaceful demeanor acts as a visual cue, signaling to our own bodies that it is safe to relax. By observing their tranquility, we can begin to cultivate that same sense of ease within ourselves. These fish are more than just beautiful objects. They are a focal point for our attention, a living anchor for our wandering minds. In meditation, it is often helpful to have something to focus on, a single point to which we can return when our thoughts drift. The gentle, meandering paths of the goldfish provide a perfect object for this kind of soft focus. Following the slow, looping journey of a single fish can help to quiet the internal monologue, replacing anxious thoughts with simple, curious observation. There is no goal or purpose to their swimming, which, honestly, frees us from our own constant need for purpose and allows us to simply be present with them in the moment. The introduction of the goldfish completes the sensory tapestry of the Zen garden. We now have the stillness of the sand and stone, the gentle movement and sound of the water and bubbles, and the living, graceful presence of the fish. Together, these elements create a balanced and harmonious environment, a microcosm of a peaceful world. The goldfish remind us that life and stillness can coexist beautifully. They show us that it is possible to be active and engaged with the world while maintaining a core of inner peace. As we begin our observation, let us appreciate these living jewels, not just for their beauty, but for the profound lessons in calm that they offer. Observing the goldfish is like watching a silent underwater ballet. Each movement is a study in grace and fluidity, a continuous unfolding dance. There is no choreography, no set routine, yet their swimming possesses a natural harmony that is captivating. They drift and turn, their delicate fins trailing behind them like silken ribbons in the water. One fish might pause, suspended in the clear liquid before giving a gentle flick of its tail and gliding away. Another might explore the smooth surface of a stone, its mouth making soft, curious movements. This unscripted performance is a powerful tool for mindfulness, drawing the viewer into a state of pure, non-judgmental observation. The dance of the goldfish is a lesson in effortless being. They do not struggle against the water, they move with it, using its currents and its support to navigate their world. This is a beautiful metaphor for how we can approach our own lives. We often expend so much energy fighting against the circumstances we find ourselves in. The goldfish teach us the wisdom of yielding, of finding the path of least resistance, and of moving with the flow of life rather than against it. By watching their serene dance, we are reminded that grace is often found not in forceful effort, but in gentle acceptance and fluid adaptation. Their dance is one of serenity because it is born from a complete harmony with their environment. As you watch this silent dance, allow your full attention to rest upon the fish. Notice the subtle details, the way the light catches their scales, the gentle fanning of their pectoral fins as they hover, the soft undulation of their bodies as they swim. Let go of the need to name or categorize what you are seeing. Simply witness the movement, the color, and the form. If your mind wanders to other thoughts, gently guide it back to the image of the swimming fish. This practice of returning your focus again and again is the very essence of meditation. The goldfish, in their simple, repetitive movements, provide a perfect living anchor for this practice. The serenity of their dance is, honestly, contagious. As you immerse yourself in their peaceful world, you may find your own inner state beginning to mirror their calm. The rhythm of their movement can influence the rhythm of your own breath, encouraging it to become slower and deeper. The absence of any threat or urgency in their world helps to soothe your own nervous system, signaling that you are in a safe and peaceful place. The dance of the goldfish is more than just a beautiful spectacle, it is an invitation. It is an invitation to let go of your worries, to quiet your mind, and to join them, metaphorically, in their serene and graceful dance through the clear waters of the present moment. The visual environment of this meditation is inspired by the ancient principles of the Japanese Zen garden, or karasan-sui. These are not gardens in the Western sense, filled with colorful flowers and lush foliage. Instead, they are minimalist landscapes, carefully composed of a few essential elements: stone, sand, water, and sometimes moss. The aesthetic is one of profound simplicity, where every element is chosen with intention and placed with precision. The goal is not to replicate nature exactly, but to capture its essence, to create a stylized landscape that evokes feelings of tranquility, spaciousness, and deep calm. This visual haven is crafted to be a feast for the quiet eye. The power of the Zen garden aesthetic lies in its use of empty space, or ma. The areas of raked sand or still water are just as important as the stones or the fish. This empty space gives the other elements room to breathe, allowing their unique qualities to be fully appreciated. It also creates a sense of openness and possibility, a visual representation of a mind that is uncluttered and at peace. In our often overstimulated world, the experience of a simple, clean, and spacious visual field can be incredibly restorative. It gives the eyes and the mind a place to rest, free from the visual noise that typically surrounds us. Every component within this visual haven is symbolic. The stones can represent mountains or islands, enduring and stable. The raked sand often symbolizes water, with its flowing lines suggesting ripples or waves. In our case, we use actual water, which represents purity, clarity, and the flow of life itself. The goldfish, as we have seen, are living symbols of grace, peace, and good fortune. By arranging these elements into a harmonious composition, the garden becomes more than just a collection of objects. It becomes a microcosm of the universe, a contemplative landscape that invites the viewer to reflect on the deeper patterns of nature and existence. The color palette of this Zen garden is deliberately muted and natural. The soft whites and grays of the sand and stone, the clear transparency of the water, and the vibrant but natural tones of the goldfish create a harmonious and soothing visual experience. There are no jarring colors or clashing patterns to disturb the eye. This carefully controlled palette helps to promote a state of calm focus, allowing the viewer to appreciate the subtle interplay of light, shadow, texture, and movement. The entire aesthetic is designed to quiet the senses, not to excite them, guiding you gently into a meditative state where the beauty of simplicity can be fully experienced. In this carefully constructed sanctuary, two of the most fundamental classical elements, earth and water, are brought together in a harmonious union. The element of earth is represented by the solid, unmoving stones and the fine grains of sand that form the bed of the garden. These elements provide a sense of stability, grounding, and permanence. They are the foundation of this miniature world, the silent, steadfast witnesses to the gentle activity that unfolds around them. The presence of these earthy elements offers a feeling of security and rootedness, anchoring our awareness and providing a stable base from which our meditative journey can begin. They remind us of the solid ground beneath our feet, a source of constant support. The element of water, in contrast, represents flow, change, and purification. It is dynamic and ever-moving, whether in the form of gentle ripples spreading across the surface or the soft currents that guide the swimming goldfish. Water is the lifeblood of the garden, bringing movement, sound, and vitality to the scene. It symbolizes the continuous, unfolding nature of the present moment and the constant stream of our own consciousness. Its clarity represents mental purity and the potential for insight. By observing the water, we are encouraged to embrace the natural flow of our own experiences, to let go of resistance and allow life to move through us with grace and ease. The union of these two elements creates a perfect balance of stillness and movement, of stability and change. This balance is essential for a deep and effective meditation. The grounding presence of the earth elements prevents the mind from becoming too scattered or lost, providing a constant point of return. At the same time, the flowing, dynamic nature of the water elements prevents the mind from becoming stagnant or dull, offering a gentle point of focus that is engaging and alive. This interplay between the fixed and the fluid mirrors the ideal state of meditative awareness, a mind that is both stable and alert, grounded and open. This sacred marriage of earth and water is the very essence of the Zen garden's power. It is a physical representation of the harmony we seek within ourselves. We all have parts of us that are solid and unchanging, our core values and our sense of self. We also have parts that are in constant flux, our thoughts, emotions and sensations. The garden teaches us that these two aspects are not in conflict. They can coexist in beautiful harmony, each one enhancing and balancing the other. As you gaze upon this union of elements, you are invited to feel that same sense of integrated wholeness within your own being. While the garden we observe is external, its ultimate purpose is to facilitate a journey inward. This entire composition of sight and sound is a tool, a carefully designed vessel to carry your awareness from the outer world of distraction to the inner world of quiet contemplation. The true landscape to be explored is not the one on the screen, but the one that exists within your own mind and heart. The goldfish, the water, and the stones are simply guides, gentle companions for your introspective journey. Their purpose is to create an environment so peaceful that it allows the subtle whispers of your own inner wisdom to be heard. The journey inward begins with a simple shift in focus. We spend most of our days with our attention directed outward, engaged with tasks, people, and external stimuli. This meditative space encourages you to reverse that flow. By providing a simple, captivating external focus, it paradoxically makes it easier to become aware of your internal state. As your mind quiets down from observing the garden, you may begin to notice the rhythm of your own breath, the physical sensations in your body, and the gentle ebb and flow of your own thoughts. This is the beginning of self-awareness, the first step on the path to inner peace. This space is not about escaping reality, but about connecting with it more deeply. The journey inward is a journey towards a more authentic and present way of being. By taking the time to quiet the external noise, you can begin to understand your own patterns of thought and emotion more clearly. You can observe your anxieties and your joys without judgment, simply noticing them as they arise and pass. This process of mindful self-observation is profoundly healing. It allows you to untangle yourself from habitual reactions and to cultivate a more conscious and compassionate relationship with yourself. The garden is the classroom. Your inner world is the subject. The ultimate destination of this inward journey is a place of stillness and clarity that resides within you. It is a core of peace that is always present, though often obscured by the clouds of a busy mind. This meditative experience is designed to help you find your way back to that center. It is not about creating peace, but about discovering the peace that is already there. Each moment spent in quiet observation is a step closer to that inner sanctuary. The purpose of this space, therefore, is to empower you, to give you the tools and the opportunity to connect with your own innate capacity for calm, clarity, and profound well-being. The path to a quiet mind is often found through the gateway of the senses. Our minds are built to process information, and if we do not give them a simple, calming input to focus on, they will often create their own complex and stressful narratives. The principle behind this meditation is the power of simple sensory focus. Instead of trying to force your mind to be empty, which can often lead to frustration, we gently guide it to rest its attention on the sensory details of the present moment. We offer it the sight of a gliding goldfish, the sound of a rising bubble, the visual pattern of a ripple in the water. This approach is effective because it works with the natural tendencies of the mind rather than against them. Giving the mind a single, simple task, such as watching the movement of a fish's tail or listening for the soft pop of a bubble, occupies its processing power. This leaves less mental bandwidth available for anxious thoughts, worries about the future, or regrets about the past. It is a gentle and compassionate way to manage the monkey mind, the part of our consciousness that jumps restlessly from thought to thought. By focusing on simple sensory inputs, we tether the monkey mind to a calm and stable perch. The beauty of sensory focus is its accessibility. You do not need any special training or philosophical understanding to practice it. You simply need to see, to hear, and to notice. Can you see the way the light reflects off the water's surface? Can you hear the subtle difference between the sound of a ripple and the sound of a bubble? By engaging with the world in this direct sensory way, you pull your awareness out of the abstract world of thought and ground it in the tangible reality of the here and now. This is the essence of mindfulness. It is a return to the simple, profound experience of being alive in this moment. As you engage with this practice, try to approach it with a sense of gentle curiosity, like a child seeing these things for the first time. Let go of the need to analyze or label what you are experiencing. If you find your mind labeling, "that is a fish" or "that is a ripple," simply acknowledge the thought and gently return your focus to the raw sensory data, the color, the movement, the sound. This practice of pure sensory focus is incredibly restorative. It gives the analytical part of your brain a much-needed rest and allows you to experience the world in a more direct, intimate, and peaceful way. For this brief period of time, you're given full permission to let go of the busy world. The demands, the responsibilities, the deadlines, and the expectations that occupy your life can be gently set aside. Imagine placing all of your worries and to-do lists into a small, sturdy box. You can then close the lid on that box and place it just outside the door of this sanctuary. You can assure yourself that the box and its contents will be waiting for you when you are finished. They are not gone forever, but for now, you do not need to carry their weight. This conscious act of setting aside your burdens is a crucial first step toward finding true rest. Letting go is an active yet gentle process. It is a conscious choice to disengage from the patterns of thought that keep you tied to the world of doing, and to embrace a state of simply being. As you watch the water in the garden, you can visualize it washing away the residue of your busy day. With each ripple, imagine a layer of stress or tension being carried away. With each rising bubble, imagine a worry being released and dissolving into the air. This is not about denying the reality of your responsibilities, but about creating a temporary sacred space where you are free from their immediate pressure. This freedom is essential for mental and emotional renewal. The busy world often convinces us that our value lies in our productivity. We feel a constant pressure to be achieving, creating, and solving. This meditation offers a radical alternative, the idea that there is profound value in stillness, in non-doing. The goldfish in the garden are not trying to accomplish anything. The water is not rushing to a destination. They simply exist, and in their existence, they are complete. By observing them, we can begin to internalize this lesson. We can learn that it is okay to just be, without any agenda or goal. Letting go of the world's busyness means letting go of the need to constantly prove our worth through action. As you settle more deeply into this experience, you may feel a sense of lightness and relief. This is the feeling of unburdening. The world with all its noise and complexity will still be there when you return, but you can return to it from a different place. You can return with a calmer mind, a more centered spirit, and a renewed sense of perspective. The problems that seem so large may appear more manageable. This practice of letting go, even for a short time, is a powerful act of self-care. It creates the space necessary for healing, insight, and the rediscovery of your own inner peace. The human brain finds immense comfort in rhythm and pattern. From the steady beat of a heart to the familiar cycle of day and night, predictable rhythms create a sense of safety and order in a world that can often feel chaotic. This Zen garden meditation is built upon a foundation of gentle, predictable rhythms. The slow, looping dance of the goldfish, the steady rise and fall of the water's surface, and the consistent, soft sounds of bubbles create a rhythmic environment that has a deeply soothing effect on the nervous system. These patterns are predictable enough to be calming, yet contain enough subtle variation to hold our attention. When our minds are anxious or stressed, our thoughts often race in chaotic and unpredictable ways. Engaging with a calm, external rhythm can help to regulate this internal chaos. The process is known as entrainment, where our internal rhythms begin to synchronize with an external source. By immersing yourself in the steady, gentle rhythms of the garden, your own internal systems, your breathing, your heart rate, and even your brain waves, can begin to slow down and adopt a more regular, peaceful pattern. You are not forcing this to happen. You are simply allowing the calming influence of the environment to guide you into a more coherent and relaxed state. Think of the predictable rhythms of the garden as a lullaby for the anxious mind. A lullaby works because its simple, repetitive melody is soothing and easy to follow. It gives the mind a safe and pleasant place to rest. Similarly, the rhythms of the goldfish and the water provide a gentle, non-verbal narrative for your mind to follow. Instead of getting caught in a loop of worry, your attention can ride the gentle wave of a ripple or follow the graceful arc of a swimming fish. This redirection of focus from internal chaos to external order is a powerful technique for stress reduction and mental clarification. This search for peace and rhythm is an ancient human practice. We have always been mesmerized by the crackling of a fire, the sound of waves on a shore, or the gentle rustling of leaves in the wind. These are nature's rhythms, and they connect us to something larger and more constant than our own fleeting worries. This digital Zen garden seeks to recreate that primal experience. It offers a curated collection of nature's most peaceful rhythms, allowing you to tap into their timeless healing power. As you watch and listen, allow yourself to sink into these patterns. Let them hold you, soothe you, and guide you to a place of deep and rhythmic calm. This meditative experience is designed around the powerful union of sound and sight. It is not just a visual spectacle, nor is it merely an auditory journey. It is the careful and intentional blending of these two senses that creates a truly immersive and holistic sense of peace. The visual elements, the graceful fish, the clear water, the still stones, and the auditory elements, the soft bubbles, the gentle ripples, are not separate. They are two halves of a single, unified experience. The sound of a ripple is intrinsically linked to the sight of it spreading across the water. The visual of a rising bubble is incomplete without its soft accompanying murmur. This synergy between what we see and what we hear has a profound effect on the brain. When our senses receive congruent information, it creates a sense of coherence and harmony. The brain does not have to work to reconcile conflicting inputs. This seamless integration of sight and sound makes it easier for the mind to relax and enter a state of flow. The experience feels more real, more present, and more enveloping. It draws us in more completely than either sense could alone, wrapping us in a blanket of serene sensory information that crowds out distractions and internal noise. By focusing on this union, we can practice a more integrated form of mindfulness. You can actively explore the connection between what you see and what you hear. When you see a fish's fin move, can you imagine the faint sound it might make in the water? When you hear the pop of a bubble, does your eye seek out its source on the water's surface? This playful exploration keeps the mind gently engaged and anchored in the present moment. It transforms passive viewing and listening into an active yet effortless meditation. The harmony of the garden becomes a direct experience, not just an observed phenomenon. The ultimate goal of this union of sound and sight is to create a complete, self-contained world for you to inhabit for a short while. It is a world where every sight has a corresponding sound, and every sound has a visual source. This internal consistency makes the sanctuary feel whole and believable, allowing you to suspend your disbelief and fully immerse yourself in its tranquility. In this harmonious space, the boundaries between seeing and hearing begin to blur, and you are left with a single, unified experience of peace. Let the seamless dance of light and sound guide you into a state of deep, integrated calm. So this meditative experience, incorporates elements that are specifically designed to evoke a phenomenon called the Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, or ASMR. For those who might not be familiar with the term, ASMR is a relaxing, often sedative sensation that usually begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck and upper spine. It's often described as a pleasant, tingling feeling. This sensation is triggered by specific auditory or visual stimuli, which are often referred to as triggers. Common triggers include whispering, soft speaking, tapping sounds, crinkling noises, and as featured here, the gentle sounds of water. The sounds in this Zen garden, the soft murmur of bubbles and the gentle lapping of ripples, are classic ASMR triggers. They're subtle, detailed, and repetitive sounds that can be, honestly, deeply relaxing for many people. These sounds are thought to stimulate a positive neurological response, leading to feelings of calm, comfort, and well-being. The experience is purely sensory and doesn't rely on conscious thought. You don't need to understand why it works to feel its effects. The goal is simply to listen openly and allow the sounds to wash over you, noticing any pleasant physical sensations that may arise. ASMR is a deeply personal experience. Not everyone feels the tingles, but even for those who don't, The trigger sounds themselves are almost universally perceived as calming and pleasant. The slow, deliberate pace and the focus on tiny, minute details are hallmarks of the ASMR style. This approach encourages a state of deep relaxation and focused attention, which is highly compatible with traditional mindfulness and meditation practices. Think of ASMR as a sensory pathway to a meditative state. It uses gentle sounds as a key to unlock the door to a quieter mind and a more relaxed body. In the context of our Goldfish Zen garden, the ASMR elements are seamlessly integrated into the natural environment. The bubbling and rippling sounds aren't artificial, they're the authentic sounds of this tranquil, aquatic world. This makes the experience feel organic and immersive. As you listen, try to pay close attention to the texture and detail of the sounds. Notice the soft, high-frequency pop of a bubble bursting, or the gentle, low-frequency sound of a water ripple. Allowing your attention to rest on these delicate sonic details is really the essence of experiencing ASMR, and it's a powerful way to anchor yourself in the peaceful present moment. The soothing power of water sounds is not just a poetic idea, it is a phenomenon rooted in our biology and psychology. Our brains are wired to interpret sounds as either signals of threat or signals of safety. The harsh, abrupt, and loud noises typical of a dangerous situation, like a falling rock or an animal's cry, trigger our fight-or-flight response, flooding our bodies with stress hormones. In contrast, the sounds of water, such as gentle rain, a flowing stream, or the soft ripples in our garden, are perceived as non-threatening. These sounds are typically soft, continuous, and have a gradual wave-like pattern of crests and troughs in their volume and pitch. This pattern of sound is particularly calming to the human brain. The predictable, gentle rhythm has a lulling effect, much like a rocking cradle. It signals to our primal brain that the environment is safe, that predators are not near, and that we can afford to lower our guard. This feeling of safety allows the parasympathetic nervous system, our body's rest and digest system, to become dominant. As a result, our heart rate slows, our breathing deepens, our muscles relax, and our minds can drift into a more relaxed and open state. The sounds of water are, in essence, a natural tranquilizer, gently coaxing our entire being into a state of repose. Furthermore, water sounds often act as a form of white noise, or more accurately, pink noise. They have the ability to mask other, more jarring and distracting sounds from our environment. If you are in a room with traffic noise outside or a conversation happening nearby, the consistent sound of rippling water can cover up those intermittent noises, which are more likely to startle you and break your focus. The water sounds create a consistent and stable auditory bubble around you, protecting your meditative state from interruption and allowing you to sink more deeply into your practice without being disturbed. Ultimately, water sounds connect us to the natural world, a place from which our increasingly urban lives have distanced us. This connection is deeply restorative for the human soul. For thousands of generations, the sounds of water meant the presence of a life-sustaining resource. They were sounds of survival, of purity, and of life itself. Even today, these sounds tap into that deep ancestral memory, evoking feelings of security, purity, and peace. By listening to the gentle sounds of this Zen garden, we are not just relaxing, we are coming home to one of the most ancient and comforting sounds our species has ever known. This experience holds a simple but profound promise, the promise of a meditative escape. It is an offer of temporary asylum from the pressures, worries, and overstimulation of your daily life. For the duration of your time here, you are invited to step out of your usual roles and responsibilities and into a world designed purely for your restoration. This is not an escape from life itself, but an escape from the mental habits and external demands that prevent you from experiencing life with a sense of peace and clarity. It is a strategic retreat, a chance to recharge so that you can return to your world with renewed energy and perspective. The promise is one of simplicity. In a world that constantly asks you to be more, do more, and learn more, this space asks for less. It asks you to simplify your focus, to narrow your attention to the gentle dance of a fish or the soft sound of a bubble. There are no complex instructions to follow, no levels to achieve, and no goals to meet. The only aim is to be present. This radical simplicity is a powerful antidote to the complexity that often fuels our stress. The promise is that by embracing this simplicity, you can find a profound sense of relief and release. This meditative escape also promises a sensory journey. It is a chance to reconnect with your senses in a gentle and mindful way. We often move through our days on autopilot, barely noticing the sensory world around us. This experience is an invitation to awaken your senses of sight and hearing, to immerse them in a world of subtle beauty and calming sounds. By doing so, you ground yourself firmly in your body and in the present moment, which is the only place where true peace can be found. The promise is that by engaging your senses, you can quiet your racing mind and find refuge in the reality of the here and now. Finally, the promise is one of renewal. This is not just a passive distraction, it is an active process of mental and emotional restoration. By giving your nervous system a break from the constant state of high alert, you allow your body's natural healing and balancing mechanisms to engage. You are creating the conditions for your mind to settle, for your emotional state to stabilize, and for your spirit to feel nourished. The promise is that when you choose to leave this sanctuary, you will not be the same as when you arrived. You will carry a piece of its tranquility with you, feeling calmer, clearer, and better equipped to navigate the beautiful complexities of your life. To receive the full benefit of this meditative journey, a small amount of mental preparation can be incredibly helpful. The first step is to set an intention. Before you begin, take a moment to ask yourself what you hope to gain from this time. Perhaps you wish to release stress, find a moment of calm, or simply enjoy a period of quiet observation. Your intention does not need to be grand. A simple wish for peace is perfect. Holding this gentle intention in your mind can help to focus your experience and make it more meaningful. It is like setting a course for your journey, even if the journey itself is one of stillness. Next, try to find a comfortable and relatively quiet physical space where you are unlikely to be interrupted. While the sounds of the garden will help to mask external noise, minimizing distractions will allow for a deeper immersion. Sit or lie down in a position that is relaxed but alert. You want your body to be at ease so that physical discomfort does not become a distraction. You can close your eyes for a moment before you begin, taking a few slow, deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. This simple act of conscious breathing signals to your body and mind that it is time to transition into a state of rest and receptivity. Adopt an attitude of gentle curiosity and non-judgment. This is perhaps the most important preparation of all. There is no right or wrong way to experience this meditation. Your mind will wander, that is what minds do. When you notice your thoughts have drifted, simply acknowledge them without criticism and gently guide your attention back to the sights and sounds of the garden. Do not judge your performance or worry if you are doing it right. The practice is simply the gentle act of returning, again and again, to the present moment. Approach the experience with the open-minded curiosity of a scientist or an artist, simply observing what is here. Finally, give yourself permission to fully receive the experience. We are often so busy doing, giving and producing that it can feel unfamiliar to simply be passive and receive. Allow the calming sounds and sights to wash over you. You do not need to analyze them or figure them out. Your only task is to be open and present. Trust that the environment has been crafted to support your well-being. By preparing your mind with intention, comfort, non-judgment, and a willingness to receive, you create the ideal conditions to embark on this peaceful journey into the Goldfish Zen garden. We have now arrived at the threshold. The introduction is complete, the scene is set, and the mind is prepared. All that is left is to take the final, simple step, to fully embrace the present moment, here and now. This is the culmination of all our preparation and understanding. The past is a collection of memories and the future is a collection of possibilities. But life itself is only ever experienced in this single, unfolding moment. The Goldfish Zen garden is a dedicated space for the practice of being present, a training ground for the art of living in the now. Let go of what has come before and what might come next, and simply arrive here. Embracing the present moment means engaging your senses fully with what is immediately available. Direct your gaze to the screen, see the colors of the fish, the clarity of the water, the texture of the stone. Open your ears to the sounds. Hear the subtle layers of sound, from the low murmur of the water to the high-frequency pop of a bubble. Feel the sensation of your breath moving in and out of your body. Feel the support of the chair or floor beneath you. This sensory engagement is your anchor to the here and now. It is the solid ground upon which you can stand when the winds of thought try to pull you away. As you settle into this state of present moment awareness, you may discover a profound sense of peace. The anxieties we feel are almost always rooted in thoughts about the future. The regrets we carry are always tied to the past. In the pure, simple reality of the present moment, these burdens often cannot survive. When your attention is fully occupied by the sight of a goldfish gliding through the water, there is no room for anxiety or regret. This is the simple magic of mindfulness. It does not eliminate life's problems, but it provides you with moments of profound respite from the mental suffering they can cause. So now, let us begin. Let the words fade, and allow the experience to take over. Let the gentle dance of the goldfish guide your eyes. Let the soft whispers of the water and bubbles soothe your ears. Let your breath be your quiet companion. There is nothing else you need to do, nowhere else you need to be. Everything you are seeking, the calm, the clarity, the peace, is available to you in this moment. Embrace it. Welcome to the Goldfish Zen Garden. Your meditation starts now.